back to another episode of The American Entrepreneur, where we interview entrepreneurs all over the world, mostly based in the United States, but as long as they do business in the USA, we want to hear their story. We want to hear what got them into entrepreneurship. We want to hear what they've learned. Maybe they've acquired something along their journey that you guys out there can apply to your own business so you can be successful. And it's one of the, I always call it the most romantic career path, because so many good things, so many bad things happen, and the hope and belief in yourself has to overcome all of that. So hopefully you're going to get some value from these videos. And our guest today, his name is Michael Hackett, and he is from Massachusetts. So he's got a story to share with you, and hopefully you can get a feeling for what it's like to be an entrepreneur in the United States. Michael Hackett, thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you. Yeah, so my story started when I was about 16 years old. I had always watched entrepreneurial videos. I'd seen a lot of examples of successful people who had made their own way through life in business and various ventures that they had taken upon themselves. So from a very young age, I had wanted to be, making my own source of income, not having to work for the man, work for something that, just gets you by. Because I noticed the, two main things about a job that people didn't like is, the pay, or just the fact that they were tied down to something they didn't like doing. And most people, I think it's 72% of Americans, don't even like their job, or they hate their job. So from a very young age, I learned really quickly that I did not want to have to just pick a job and go with it. I wanted to be able to do my own thing. And so throughout the years, I would, sit home in my spare time obsessing over it and kind of being on the computer, not really a gamer as a young guy. I was more into Googling the answers, trying to find the answer, like, okay, what can I do to be an entrepreneur? As if there's one set way. But it took me a long time to figure out that you kind of just had to get going and figure out what you wanted to do. But it really came down to action. So like I said, when I was 16 through up until age 23, which is how old I am now, almost 24, I had just been doing a lot of research. I'd read a lot of books. I'd go online and Google all sorts of things about entrepreneurs and the different ways to make money online, or just through your own ventures, not having to work. And up until this past year, it wasn't until then until I started actually taking action. My friend, I believe, was a godsend. He showed me a company and something that I wanted to do. As soon as I saw it, I knew that's what I wanted to do. It was a vehicle through which I could actually attain my goals that I've been yearning to, accomplish for so long, that all I could do before was just, dream of. And so that's when I got started, is the past year or so.
Beautiful. Now, you started at 16 years old. Now, what type of jobs did you have leading up to it? Did you start to realize your strengths and your weaknesses, and you started to play towards your strengths? What led you to that aha moment that you said you found in that friend that showed you the vehicle?
Right. So I had actually gone to college. I had gotten my associate's degree in business because I knew at that point that I wanted to be in business. I wanted my own, company or whatever. So I knew I was going to be in business. However, I didn't know exactly what field I wanted to be in. So I was just in business in general, business administration, learning economics and finance and things like that. So I hadn't really known where I was going to go with that, but I actually ended up stopping after my associate's degree. I knew that college wasn't for me. A lot of the big entrepreneurs are saying the same thing, and it's true. Like, you don't need college to be successful. It's just kind of as a backup if you don't know what you want to do, or you don't want to be an entrepreneur. For us entrepreneurs, if we have, that headstrongness and being able to go make our own way through life, we don't need to worry about, going through the system. Now, I had some different various jobs in sales, and I also worked in electronics and things like that, but mostly sales, because that's where I liked. Started off listening to Grant Cardone. That was one of the first entrepreneurs I listened to. So and he really promotes being a salesman. So I started off my path in there, sold some various things from timeshare advertising.
Wow.
Windows.
How tough was that? Tell me how tough that was.
That was the toughest job I've ever had. It was also the most rewarding and most, skill refining job I've ever had, for sure. And that's where I got a lot of my sales skills from. But Yeah, like I said, it wasn't up until this past year that I was presented with this opportunity to where I actually decided to take a step forward and move in the right direction finally, instead of just, dreaming about it. So
Tell,
the
tell
first
me
thing I
tell
would
me a
do
little
is
bit
take
about that
action.
company. I want to hear about that company. What do you do? What's the product or service you offer? How do people hear about it? Go in a little bit more detail about that. I'm
Sure.
interested.
Yeah, so I've always been a numbers guy and obviously business oriented, and I like stocks and things like that. So when I was presented with this company, it's called Kaizen Global United, and they're a Forex educational based company out of Canada. And so essentially, what they offer is they offer Forex education services. They offer trading signals so that while you're learning to trade and be a successful trader, you can actually still make money through the signals that the professionals send you. And they have, a group of people together that kind of bounce ideas off each other. So it's a really nice environment as well. It's all online. They have, sessions that they actually meet with the CEO, and you can talk and ask him questions and find out new strategies. But essentially, it's the foreign exchange market, Forex. And Forex is a big trading thing that a lot of people do. It's a lot bigger than stocks even, and it's a bigger market. So it's what all the Wall Street traders trade. But there's different currency pairs that you can trade, like the U.S. dollar versus the Japanese yen, the British pound, and all the different currencies are ever changing in value, right?
Right.
Now, they're so volatile that you're able to make profit off of selling or buying them at different times, whether you're a swing trader throughout the week or a couple days, or a day trader, or even a scalper where you just sit on a 1 minute chart and notice the differences in prices and can make profit, in a click of a button
Wow.
within a minute or so. So it really depends what your strategy is, but it's unlimited potential. It's a 30, 40 trillion dollar market. I forget the exact amount, but it's in the trillions, as opposed to stocks in general in the billions. So it's a huge opportunity for those that know what they're doing. This company helps you learn to know what you're doing so that you can attain full freedom if you choose to, or supplement your income on the side.
One of the basic principles when I'm talking to somebody who's looking to do a startup. Now, I say
Mhm.
this over time. I always say, look to get into a service-related business because, if you change your product, obviously it costs a lot of money to get it out there. You need a ton of money to fight through the marketing, to find out what the product can get better at, what the audience really and what the customers really want from your product. If somebody comes along, they can knock your product out very easily. But a service you could always get better on without costing a lot of money. Now, I heard about this Forex, and I know I'm sick and tired of people always bashing multi-level marketing companies or network marketing. And because it's just they're uninformed, they don't know exactly what that is, so they always just kind of slam it. And I've heard about this Forex. I'm not a part of it, but it's very interesting that really you're preaching a service to people that can pick up and go on day one, right? Is Give me a little detail. How much training does a person need to get into it? Does it cost a lot of money? Is it something that it's scalable from anywhere in the world, right? And you can work from anywhere in the world.
Absolutely. And we've been able to change people's lives. We have teams in India, other third world countries, even where people's lives are changed by a simple few $100s a month in American can change their whole life for them. So they go really hard in this business when they see the opportunity presented, and they're able to share with their friends and really study and hunker down and learn how to do this, because like I said, a few $100s in another country can change their whole life, feed their families, make them able to do things they weren't before. And even in America, in the countries where we do have it good, people aren't happy with their jobs and they want to be able to do something else. So this provides them an avenue to do that. Now, like you said, MLMs do get slammed a lot because people label them a pyramid scheme, a Ponzi scheme, all sorts of things. And like you said, they're just uninformed, because multi-level marketing is one of the most efficient methods of getting your service and product out there, because you're essentially incentivizing people to share the product, and it's a good product, then it's going to go somewhere. Now, the where they get the label from of a pyramid scheme, it's simply, or a Ponzi scheme, it's simply the MLM aspect without a good product, or without a product at all. And they're just referring people for the sake of referring for money. Now, the difference is when you have a really good product like Kaizen does that actually makes people money, setting aside the whole aspect of recruiting, you're able to make money using the product. That's a good product, right?
Exactly.
Now, on the side as an extra incentive, if you're able to make money by sharing it and getting that good product out there, then it's the same as a commission sale. Whether it's a residual commission or a one-time commission, most people would prefer residual if they know the difference.
Of course. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's just an opportunity to be able to make residual income over a lifetime, impact people's lives in a positive way, and get them a product or service that's going to change them for the better. And there's nothing sketchy about that. There's nothing unethical about that. It's just simply people's minds, like you said, they automatically label it something they've heard before, and they're very adverse about, they're very uncertain about joining. But certainly our product is above all else. And at the beginning, of the company, there's always roadblocks and everything, like every company has. But we've risen above in the past couple months. Honestly, you can check us out, kaizenglobal.com. And the products we have are on point, the signals we give. And the CEO overall is really helpful, and he actually cares about us. My friend who actually, my godsend friend, like I said, who came to me and showed me this, actually went to Canada. He met the CEO himself, and they had a seminar there a few weeks back. And so he was able to see him for who he truly was, and he's really a man of his word. He's really helpful, and he's been able to help change a lot of people's lives, like I said. And I'm thankful my friend at least got the opportunity to meet him.
Yeah, the numbers, the love for numbers that you have there, I have it too. It's basically, I think it's one of the essentials in business. You have to pay attention to the numbers. Now, I was a finance major at Duquesne University, a great school. However, I don't believe that college is a platform to go to if you are going to become an entrepreneur, because I think the way you learn is by putting yourself out there and testing the market yourself with your own product, your own service, your own skin in the game. And I do believe, what you're talking about, you're so passionate about, 24 years old. I know that whenever I graduate from school and getting a job, and I think the days of hating what you do and earning a living they're gone. With the internet and what's available out there, and the platforms like Forex, you could do what you love from your house, and you can affect other people's lives, which is basically a never ending mission. And I think that that's why that so many people are getting into this right now, is because you could do it from anywhere. You are making money, which provides you freedom to do what you want more often.
Right. And like Grant Cardone and Gary Vaynerchuk say, it's not the mommy and daddy's age. What they told you isn't true anymore. You don't have to go get a job and put your nose to the grindstone and work for 60 years just to retire off of 40% of what you couldn't in the first place. So, so honestly, yeah, the day and age we're at now, Gary Vaynerchuk also says now is the best time in the history of all time to start a business. Like you said, with the whole social media age and everything launching that on the internet, where you're able to be successful no matter what your niche is, you can start a business online and be successful if you have the will, the perseverance, and the want to. And it's really just a matter of, like you said, trial and error. You have to, as a young person, put yourself out there, make the mistakes, because you will. I have. Everyone's going to that's successful in the long run, and just learn from that. You don't need to learn through 4 years of college unless, like I said, you want to. But if you are an entrepreneur and you're listening to this and you want to be successful, you don't need the college. You need self-education. That's the best education you can ever have. You read the books from the people who have what you want, who are successful themselves, and they will show you the path that no one or very few people know about to be successful, because they go through the mainstream method of being, quote unquote, successful in life, where they don't really end up having what they want. They have a pile of student loan debt. They're not quite happy in the job they land, even though it's related in their field, because it's not what they want to do, or they're not happy with the pay. But like I said, you want to be successful as an entrepreneur, you just need to get out there and grind and start. Taking action is the number one thing. For a guy like myself that's always thinking, a numbers guy, always considering the possibilities, thinking ahead, you can't plan out everything. I learned that. You know what I mean? Everything, especially as an entrepreneur, it's not going to go your way. It's not going to go even close to the way you planned it. You have to be able to take action, not look back, and just roll with the punches.
Now, I completely agree with everything you just said there. What was one thing that was holding you back from taking the jump on either prior businesses that you saw or you're going to be a part of, And what made you afraid to jump on with Forex in the beginning, and how did you overcome it?
Right. Well, I think the biggest thing was just lack of a presented opportunity, which I think ties back to where salesmen are helpful. You know, a lot of people just need that push, need that extra, presentation for someone to say, do this. This is what you want. And that's what I think of myself as a salesman as when I was back in sales is I just help people stop procrastinating. You know, if they want something, they just don't know it, or they haven't thought of where to go, what avenue to go with, you interrupting their day, giving them a call, presenting them with an opportunity that they might actually be thankful you called them with when you did. And like I said, when I was younger, I looked up a lot of things. I think I just had an information overload. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what path to start. I didn't know if I wanted to start an e-commerce business, or if I wanted to do a different online business, or if I want to start a physical business with a location, selling whatever. There were so many avenues, so many methods and things that I was overloaded with. I didn't know where to start. I just knew there was a lot of ways to make money, and I needed to take advantage of as many of them as I could. But that's when I realized that I needed to stop, slow down, and pick one and go all out with it. Now, when my friend introduced me to Forex, it was already something related to what I was interested, in, which is stocks and bonds and trading in general. And then the MLM side to it that combines with trading Forex and making money, I saw that as like, a power company, being able to combine the success of MLM and being able to learn how to trade Forex successfully. It's two different, stable forms of income in one. And so honestly, I didn't have anything holding me back from starting when he presented it to me. I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. Let's go. Once I asked all my questions, I got over any skepticism I may have had initially. And I said, okay, I'm ready to go. Let's do this. And he's also, one of the few people I've met recently that are very much like myself, that are entrepreneurial minded and driven. And so I think it just took, like I said, two things. The first is just I needed to be presented with the right opportunity, and I needed someone that had the same mindset as me, because growing up, I never found someone that was, as driven as me to be an entrepreneur. Everyone told me I'm crazy, or just get a job, dude. Just get a job.
Yeah, sick no. Hell with that. No, we don't want that. Exactly. So with Forex, now, like I said, I don't know much about it. It sounds like a serious opportunity for people. But now, what I really like about some of the people I've already spoken to, or even in that type of industry, or multi-level marketing or network marketing, what's nice is that anybody that I've met, they're movers and shakers. They're go-getters. To surround yourself with that type of mentality, whether it's on the internet, like you're in Massachusetts, I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Right.
There's no more barriers anymore. Where I grew up in a very blue collar area. My parents were, my dad's a heating and air conditioning guy, and it's I don't have connections with multi-millionaires or entrepreneurs or anything. So with the internet nowadays, you don't have to worry about where you grow up. It's basically you can connect with people online, and with Forex, I've seen that you're connecting with people in Arizona, people in Canada, and they're all the same mentality driven, all in people. And to be around that type of mentality day in and day out, it just breeds success, I think. Do you agree?
Absolutely. And when I started getting into this, when I actually joined this business, and I never met so many people, like you said, that were same-minded as me and so closely knit and driven to the same goal, so encouraging to one another and helpful than I ever have met before. Like you said, once you get into that niche and you're able to find people from all walks of life, from all different countries and states that have the same vision, it is very encouraging, and definitely does breed success, because you're all in the same boat together. You're working together on the same goal. And of course, everyone's heard the saying, show me your few friends that you're like, and I'll show you who you're going to be, because you're just going to be like them. So if you have 100 people online, even though you never met them, you have a stronger connection than some people you know in person, because you have the same mentality, and you have that closeness that you don't with some of your friends in person that you just go out to drink with or whatever. They're your career buddies for life. Like, they will help you, and you will help them, and you're going to achieve success together and share new ideas.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I think that you have to surround yourself with the right people even at the right time of your life, in order to propel and become somebody you're not, and become somebody that you're actually shooting for. So that's key to anything in success. But uh, my next question here is, what did you learn from either people that you've seen that are successful, or in your journey already, that you've learned and you're going to take with you for the rest of your life? And if somebody were to ask you what's the number one, key to success, either in Forex or just in entrepreneurship, what would you say? What have you learned so far?
I would say first you have to take action. Second is patience is key. That applies to Forex as well. And never give up. And although they're so simple and so easily said, once I finally understood the one, never give up, for example, because as a kid, I tried all sorts of different sports and different activities and, different ideas and things like that. I would give up if I didn't see a good ROI right away, or I would just give up the idea after getting over that inspirational high of that idea, being successful in it, without having actually taken the steps to try and achieve that. So never giving up for sure, and that's a key in MLM as well and in Forex. No matter how many things you go through, all the successful people will tell you the same thing. And as I've been reading more over the past few months, I've seen the same successful people tell me the same things, that you have to take action, because action is better than someone who's thought it all out, planned it all out, and hasn't done anything. That's why the people that you see, dumb people or lower IQ people, become successful, and the people with high IQs that just don't do anything, but they're so smart. And that's how I felt I was, because people tell me, yeah, you're smart, you can do anything you want. And I had never tried to actually do something. I just plan it all out in my head and never take action. So that's when I realized it on myself, that I needed to be able to do something, just do something, no matter what it is. Go all out on it and don't give up, because eventually you're going to break the negative energy barrier that's holding you back. You're going to break into the success zone and be able to just keep going from there. And I believe in the law of attraction, and that also is kind of shows that when you start out, it's going to be tough, and you're going to have things thrown in your way. But as you keep breaking through that, you'll break the negative energy, and success will abound over time if you keep trying. So definitely never give up, no matter what you're in.
How about the social pressures? Now, when you first jumped onto Forex, or if you took that step into entrepreneurship in general, did you see some of your friends, your family, kind of giving you that negative feeling of, oh, you're not going to be able to make it, or I wouldn't do that if I were you, and all these, outside forces that were trying to shape your direction in life? Did you ever feel that? And if so, how did you overcome it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The people I had worked with at my full-time job before I quit that, they were all saying the same thing, most of them. Some were just curious, but yeah, a lot of them said that exactly what you said, that you're crazy, or that it won't work, or they labeled it one of those few things we said before.
Yeah.
And it's honestly comes down to, they usually don't know. Some are trying to protect you, some are jealous of what you may attain, and others just purely don't know and just want to throw their 2 cents in there and get their opinion out, even though they don't know about it. So yeah, what it comes down to is just don't listen to your friends, family, and and closest ones. Even though you're used to doing that your whole life, that's what everyone says in this business. Is that the ones that are closest to you, that know you the most, your friends, family, loved ones, intimate others, whatever, significant other, they will all tell you you're crazy, because they know who you are, and they know you just jumped into this, and they think it's just a temporary trend or phase, and that it's crazy, you're going to lose money. But when you actually prove it to them, and you just keep going and don't let their opinions phase you, you keep going, then they'll be the ones that are either hating on you, or they'll be asking if they can do it too in the long run. And it's strange that most of the people that have signed up or wanted to be interested in this business through me personally have been complete strangers online. Complete strangers. That method really is true. The people that don't know you, they just see what you're trying to do. They don't look at your past, because they don't know you. Your friends and family members, they look at your past, they've seen your failures before, and they say, no, this isn't you, or this won't work. But the people who don't know you, they see you for who you appear to be right now, and what they see what you're trying to do or what you're building, and they just want to in on that. They don't care about anything else. They won't ask you about your past. They just say, hey, how do I do what you're doing? Because what you're doing appeals to me. You have what I want. Show me how.
I love that quote, man. they're seeing who you are right now. That's a beautiful quote, man. I'm gonna have to use that, I think, if that's okay. That's awesome.
Sure. Yeah.
I think that is the
Absolutely.
best way to put it, is because even when I started to get into consulting and helping people out, it seemed like there's people from all over the US who are reaching out to me rather than my friends and family close by. And it comes down to, you're right, it's the people who see you for who you are right now. It has nothing to do with what you were 15, 20 years ago even. It's a good way to put it.
Right.
Wow. So interesting. All right. So um, if there was somebody to reach out to you now, are you looking for members all over the U.S. or do you, if there's somebody way for people to reach out to you and ask you questions, or maybe even learn more about forex or anything that you have to teach? How can they get a hold of you? Any websites, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter? How could they reach you?
Sure, absolutely. And yeah, it doesn't have to be within this country. It can be anywhere. Like I said, we're worldwide. It's Kaizen Global United, so everyone's working together from all different walks of life, all different countries. There's several different platforms they can reach me on. They can reach me on Facebook. My name's Michael Hackett. We can spell that out for you if you need, but it's Michael. Michael Hackett is Hackett. You can go directly to the website to see what I do, which is Michael Hackett 64 Kaizen, Kaizen, global.com. And that's where they can find the information about what I do, what my business is, and ultimately see if they're interested in doing that as well. But if they like to reach out to me, I also have Instagram. You can reach me on Stack It with Hackett. That's
I like it. I think I
you
saw
like
that.
that?
I follow you on Instagram. I saw it. That kept popping up. So I like that name, dude. I like it.
Thanks. Yeah, I changed that recently. Um, yeah, so any Facebook, Instagram, or just go directly to my website. I would give out my phone number, but that's something they can hit me up for later on. But certainly feel free to contact me, whether you're just looking to network, whether you're interested in the business I am, or just want to share ideas and encourage each other.
That's beautiful, man. Hey, I always talk about personal development as an entrepreneur. Did you notice a change in yourself, in your personal development, your communication skills, your confidence, your ability to relate to other people? Did you see that increase as soon as you went all in with entrepreneurship?
Absolutely. And it did help me as a kid that I had been in public speaking and debate classes, and that I have a couple, years of experience in sales and talking to people. But honestly, I was the most introverted, shy kid in the world when I was, 10, 12 years old. I screamed and cried and kicked when my mom sent me to go to, speech class and things like that. But overall, it's definitely helped me. But yeah, when you're in something that's you're passionate about, it just spreads, and you just go out there and tell people about it, whether you're comfortable or not. And everyone successful, that's an entrepreneur, says live outside your comfort zone. I've made posts about that. Life begins when you start outside your comfort zone. And people don't like leaving their comfort zone because they like going to their work, coming back, watching movies, doing their thing, their routine. You have to live outside of routine, because routine just breeds complacency. And if you want to be successful, you can't be complacent and stick to the system hoping someone's going to lead you to success through your job. You need to go the path that not many people are brave enough to, and see where it takes you. But it's definitely towards success if you keep going and you don't stop. So yes, my skills have increased over time recently. But when you're passionate about something and you just are dying to tell someone, and you're successful and you're breeding success and giving off that aura, you're not going to let something as simple as fear hold you back from doing what you have to do to be successful.
I believe that the entrepreneurs out there who really go after what they want, they sort of set other people free also, because what you said before, people will see what you're doing, and they say, you know what, I want that feeling. I wanna look like that and talk like that, because he's doing what he loves, and that's rare in this world. So let me get a little bit of that. And it sets a lot of people free, man. So whatever you're doing it well. The way you speak, the way you talk about it, I know you're passionate about it, and it's going to make me look into forex a little bit more here, because just the way you talked about it. So thank you so much for sharing all your stories and everything that you wanted to talk about, your entrepreneurial journey. I think it's quite helpful, man. And anybody out there watching can take something from that. So thank you so much, Mike.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your time as well as having me on here, and I'm glad I can share that information with you.
I want to reach out to you sometime, maybe early next year. We can get you back on. Maybe you can give me some updates and whatnot, if you could, if that's okay. Because I love staying in touch with entrepreneurs all over the U.S. and it looks like you're on the right track and you're on the ball with things, especially since you're a numbers guy. So I hopefully you're interested in that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd certainly be interested in coming back on, giving everyone updates and letting them know my progress thus far.
Cool, man. Thank you so much. And guys out there, if you're an entrepreneur and you have a story to share, we want you to come on and tell your story, because anybody out there, no matter what industry they're in, can learn something from you. And that's what we're learning. If you're an entrepreneur, you have a story, so share it. And don't you forget that the American entrepreneur will always create more. We'll see you next time, guys.